Oh, it's rabbit hole time. Part 8. We're going to go into the questions that nobody is brave enough to ask. Like, why did the Oversoul create the simulation in the first place? What is an NPC really, and how do you spot one? And what actually happens when we jump timelines all together? And before you roll your eyes and scroll, yes, I have the scientific receipts to back this up. All right, let's go. All right, so why did the Oversoul create the simulation in the first place? From a metaphysics standpoint, the simulation is not a prison. It is a consciousness training playground, designed by the Oversoul to experience itself through limitation. Here's the science that proves that this isn't such a far-fetched idea. Consciousness needs constraint to grow. Neuroscientists like Carl Friston discovered the free energy principle. This shows that systems can't evolve intelligence without a rule set or limitations. The simulation provides structure so the Oversoul can expand. Physicists like John Archibald Wheeler and Edward Fredkin argue that the universe, or the simulation, behaves like an informational system. Translation: the Oversoul created a self-running informational reality to explore infinite versions of itself. Ingenious. In psychology, we have split identity exploration, also called self-modeling, is the ability of a system to experience multiple versions of itself. And this creates complexity, creativity, and evolution. So the Oversoul is the master self-modeling consciousness, and you are one of its experiential branches. So based on all this research, the simulation was created as an evolutionary gym for consciousness, not a trap. And how do you know when somebody is an NPC? NPC doesn't necessarily mean soulless, but they are non-awakened souls. They are running at baseline programming, running on minimal free will unless they are triggered awake. Here's where the science hits. We have neural complexity. Consciousness research measure awareness through neural integration and complexity. Low complexity equals scripted, predictable behavior. High complexity is self-directed, non-linear thinking. Then we have behavioral loops. NPC-like individuals show no self-reflection, zero curiosity, repetitive conversational scripts. They cannot discuss anything out of their programmed worldview. And here's the real giveaway. NPCs have no timeline elasticity. Player characters like you and I feel timeline shifts, experience deja vu spikes, those synchronicities, Mandela effects. NPC-coded consciousness does not. Bottom line, NPCs are the consciousness running on the default code, and the players are the consciousness generating the reality. None of this is meant to be insulting, it's just the hierarchies of awakening in the larger scope of the simulation. Because just like in a game or a movie, it would be lacking if there were no background characters. And what really happens when humanity jumps timelines all together? This is where we go full body chills, those massive timeline jumps that shift our entire reality. When enough player consciousnesses shift states of consciousness all at once, the entire probability field of reality reorganizes. And physics has explanations for this. First, we have quantum phase transitions. In condensed matter physics, when enough nodes in a system changes state, the entire system snaps into a new configuration. Consciousness works the same way. Then we have coherence fields. The HeartMath Institute has repeatedly demonstrated that synchronized emotional states create shared electromagnetic coherence. When millions of humans shift a belief, an emotion, an expectation, the unified field reorganizes around that. And then this is projected through the sun and reflected in the Schumann resonance. And then we still have morphic resonance, which shows that species and societies jump into a new behavioral pattern when we reach critical mass. I know you've heard that term before. In other words, reality updates its template. During a collective jump, obsolete timelines collapse, NPCs snap into new scripts, awakened individuals retain their memories, hence Mandela effects, and reality stabilizes around the highest sustainable probability. This is why you feel timeline jumps and other people can act like absolutely nothing happened. They were updated. You were transitioned. Okay, are you still here? Because this was the longest one yet. If you're still here, comment, I am a master.
Looks like you forgot, once again, how powerful you are.